While I was at Silverstone this weekend, a whole bunch of parts turned up. Progress on the van. We've got the bed back in. Walls are done-ish. This weekend we're going to be sorting out this wall here. So we're just going to box around that window and then just go top to bottom. Happy days. And then it's a case of just clearing everything out so we can maybe start using it, because we've got to then put in the shower and things like that. But that isn't ready for a video, so we're going to run through the parts that have actually just arrived. I hope you can see me behind all of this magical stuff. So these aren't just a random pile of parts. There's everything, nearly everything you need for heating, hot water, electrics, your water, running off grid with your battery, everything. The only thing that's missing is the other part of this. So this is the freshwater tank. You'll see it's got a funny shape. This goes over the wheel arch. That means it stays inside the van. So the reason we chose that, keep the fresh water inside. It stops anyone trying to inject anything into your water. I know it's a little bit conspiracy theory-ish, but I'd rather know my water's safe. So inside the van, fresh water goes over the wheel arch, takes up less space. Outside of the van, underneath, wastewater tank, don't have that yet. So we'll get that when we need it. Then moving slightly this way, we'll move these out of the way because that's not next technically. We got the battery, we got a 280 ampere eco-worthy battery. Should be good for us. It's not like we're going to be off grid all the time. Should be good for one night off grid if the need arises, but most of the time when we're traveling, we'll be plugged into a hookup. Even race weekends, I should have a hookup at the circuits. Most circuits do. And then all of this lot here is to just make it work. So we've got the DC charger. So that's for charging when we're driving. So that charges off the, technically off the alternator, but it comes off the starter battery for the van, only when the engine's running. We then have, what else have we got down here? We've got the MPPT, so that's the solar charge controller. Consumer unit, that one there is for the mains hookup. This one here is for running things inside the van. So you have power comes into that, so you've got a breaker for that, into your multi-plus. Multi-plus handles, it's your inverter charger basically. So your battery will plug into the multi-plus will then output 240, which then comes into this and gives us our AC sockets. Then the links distributor, that's the bit that just distributes it everywhere. So everything essentially goes into that and then comes out of that. Then we've got 12 volt fuse panels, solar isolator, and at the front there's the Serbo GX, which is like the brains of everything. So everything all connects to it. Oh, there's a battery smart shunt as well. I got everything. Yeah, I think that's everything on the electric side. Then we move over here. We've got I can't remember the brand of it. It's one of those Chinese diesel heaters. In my opinion, they're all built in the same factory. They just have different names on them. Slightly less quality control maybe, but when you're spending less than £100 on that, or we were looking at getting the combined Truma diesel heater and water heater, that was clocking in at £1,500. These two on their own was a lot less. So we've got all the water pipes, hot and cold water, the water pump, the condenser, expansion tank, diesel heater, water heater, all of that lot, plus this tank came to less than we'd pay for the whole Truma. And then we'd still need this and the pumps and the pipes. We'd only be not needing these two. It was a no-brainer realistically. So hopefully they work just as well. I was looking at the Bobel Vans one. It just seemed like a lot of money for, if we were living in the van full time, yes, get it. But this is for weeks away as a holiday and weekends at the racetrack. So I think we've got everything we need realistically. As I said, wastewater tank still to arrive. say to arrive. Haven't actually ordered it yet, so I'm looking at different options for that. That's going to be underneath the van. I think that's everything. So where do we go now? So this weekend we're going to be finishing off that wall. We've got that one bit of wall to do, and then it's the rear doors and the side door. They can wait realistically to some degree. I've got a fancy idea for that. It's not just going to be a sheet of plywood on those. It's going to look a little bit nicer than that. So once that wall's done, it's a case of what do we do next? So in the comments, let me know what you think. Should we do the water system, the diesel heater, the electrics? I'm leaning towards the electrics, even though it's more complicated and we might have to do multiple videos to get to it. I think I've got a rough plan for how it's going to lay out, because essentially it's the other side of the van to the water tank. So this goes over one wheel arch, this lot goes the opposite wheel arch. So the water tank's going to go here, fresh water tank. There'll be some sort of inlet up here coming in from the outside, and then this side here, all the electric board. So all the electrics come out here, and then we'll have a board stepping off here, the battery probably on top of the wheel arch with some sort of frame. And I'm thinking down in this corner here we'll have the diesel heater and probably the water heater. Not 100% on that yet, with the water pump maybe at the side here, depending on how much room we lose with the tank. So we might have to actually mount it, because there's going to be a piece of ply running across the front of the bed there. So we may have to mount some things there. There's also going to be electrics running underneath that. So we'll see where we get to. I'm leaning towards doing the electrics next, because it gets a good job off the list, and it doesn't involve cutting holes in the floor of the van, which installing the diesel heater does. This is going to require one hole going through to the outside world. Not this one actually. This one is. So a filling point. I don't really want to fill the tank up from the inside, mainly because, don't know if you can hear them, we got two dogs here. And if we open up the back doors to fill with water, they're going to want to get out because they're just excited to be somewhere new. So I've got to cut a hole in the side of the van to fill up, holes in the bottom of the van to drain everything if required, hole in the bottom of the van for exhaust and intake air for the diesel heater, which means electrics is nice and easy. Don't have to drill any holes. Just have to bolt all of this onto wood, build a frame for stuff, arrange it and plug it in. What do you think? Electrics, water or diesel heater next? I'm leaning towards electrics. And going on the video we did a couple of weeks ago, we've got the wiring diagram. We know what cables we're going to be using, know what fuses we're going to be using, so we should be good. So let me know in the comments, hit that like button and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.